My name is Olivia Jenkins, and I am 28 years old. Picture me in my white dress, cutting the wedding cake with Jason. Laughter and clapping filled the room, but a hollow ache gnawed at my chest. None of my family was among the guests, just friends and my new in-laws. As we sliced through the frosting, my phone buzzed. A text from Mom, "We need to talk now." Below it, 36 missed calls. My stomach churned with fear and curiosity. Where are you watching this from? Have you ever felt the sting of family betrayal? It cuts deep when those closest hurt you most, doesn't it? Share your thoughts. To explain why my family skipped my wedding, I need to take you back. I grew up in a picture-perfect Ohio suburb with my parents, Daniel and Evelyn Jenkins, and my younger sister, Harper. We had matching Christmas sweaters and beach vacations, looking like the ideal American family. But behind closed doors, I felt like an emotional outsider. Harper, 3 years younger, was the golden child. Her blonde curls, dimpled smile, and vibrant personality stole everyone's heart. She danced ballet, played violin, and charmed everyone. I didn't envy her gifts. What hurt was how our parents treated us so differently. "Mom, I got into the advanced science program," I exclaimed one night in high school, waving the acceptance letter. Mom barely looked up from Harper's dance costume. "That's nice, honey. Leave it on the counter for Dad." But when Harper got third place in a dance competition that week, our parents threw a big dinner. They toasted our little star with champagne. I sat there, pushing food around my plate, wondering why my success barely registered. This wasn't a one-time thing, it was my childhood. I shone in math and science, earning scholarships and awards, but Harper's moments always took the spotlight. My parents missed my high school graduation for her recital. "You get it, right? This matters for her future," Mom said when I voiced my hurt. I understood, but the pain lingered. By college, I accepted my place in the family. I called home less, knowing the talk would shift to Harper's latest wins. I built my own life, found friends who valued me, and focused on my biomedical engineering career. For my college graduation, with highest honors, I saved 4 seats, 2 for my parents, 1 for Harper, 1 for my best friend, Naomi. That morning, Mom texted, "Harper's got an audition in New York. So proud of you. Take pictures." Only Naomi showed up. Naomi became my chosen family. We met at freshman orientation and bonded instantly. She studied psychology, always understanding me in ways my family didn't. After college, we got jobs in Boston and shared an apartment for 3 years. She held me through tears after tough family visits or ignored birthday calls. I met Jason Bryant at a friend's birthday party when I was 26. His warm brown eyes and infectious laugh lit up the room. On our third date, I shared my family's struggles, expecting pity. Instead, he took my hand. "That's not okay, Olivia. You deserve unconditional love." His words hit me hard. I'd always wondered if I was too sensitive. Jason showed me my pain was real, and my family's dynamic wasn't healthy. As we grew closer, Jason urged me to set boundaries with my family. "You can't change them, but you can change how you react," he said. He suggested therapy, and I started seeing Dr. Winters. She taught me about emotional neglect and how it shaped my self-worth. I practiced radical acceptance, letting go of hoping for the love I craved. It hurt, but it freed me. I stopped chasing their approval and built a life that made me happy. Jason was my rock, my cheerleader, my safe haven. His family in Connecticut embraced me from day one. His mom, Linda, called just to chat. His dad, Robert, sent me science articles. His sister, Olivia, felt like the sister I wished Harper could be. "Your family now," Linda said on my second visit. "We celebrate everyone's wins, big or small. I cried in their guest bathroom, overwhelmed by kindness I wasn't used to. Jason held me silently, knowing what it meant. With therapy, Jason's support, and my own strength, I vowed not to let my family's neglect define me. I'd create joy on my terms and break the cycle for my future kids. But when Jason and I got engaged, that promise faced its biggest test. Jason proposed on our 2-year anniversary at the Indie Theater where we had our first date. The movie paused, and a trailer of our photos and videos played to our favorite song. When the lights came up, Jason was on one knee with a simple, elegant ring. "Olivia Jenkins, you're the strongest, kindest, most brilliant woman I know. Will you marry me?" I said yes through tears and laughter as the theater cheered. It was so perfectly Jason. That night, sipping champagne in our apartment, anxiety hit. I had to tell my family. "They'll be thrilled," Jason said, though his voice held doubt. I called Mom the next day, nerves tight. She answered on the fourth ring. "Hi, Mom. Big news, Jason proposed last night. We're engaged." A long pause. "Oh, that's good. Congrats." No excitement, no questions about the ring. "We're planning a spring wedding, maybe 6 months out," I tried. "That's soon. Let us know the details." Then, Harper got the lead in a theater production. We're so thrilled. My engagement faded into Harper's shadow again. Still, Jason and I dove into wedding planning. We chose a cozy historic venue in Cambridge for 60 guests, intimate, not flashy. We picked lilies and hydrangeas, a family-owned Mediterranean caterer, and a photographer who captured real, joyful moments. Every choice felt like us. 4 months out, we sent invitations, including to my parents, Harper, and a few relatives. Weeks passed with no RSVP from them. I called Mom, hiding my worry. "Did you get the invitation? We need a head count." "Yes, we got it. We'll try to come, but things are busy." "It's my wedding day," I said, voice tight. "I really want you there." "Of course, honey, we'll try." Every call was the same, vague promises, no help with planning. When I asked Dad about the father-daughter dance, he muttered about checking his schedule. Naomi was my rock through it all. She embraced her maid of honor role with such passion, it eased the sting of my family's indifference. She threw me a stunning bridal shower, helped me pick the perfect dress, and listened patiently as I poured out my frustrations in tears. "They'll come around," she promised. "If they don't, I'll be right there with you, Olivia. You're not alone." Jason's family went above and beyond, too. His mom, Linda, jumped in to help with seating charts and favors. His dad, Robert, insisted on covering some costs, even though we'd planned to handle everything. His sister, Olivia, hosted a second bridal shower with their extended family, making me feel truly part of their world. Meanwhile, my family grew more distant. Phone calls home were met with distracted replies and quick excuses to end the conversation. Harper barely responded to my texts, saying she was swamped with auditions. I told myself it was just wedding stress making me sensitive, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. Still, I clung to hope. Despite years of letdowns, I believed my wedding would be different. Surely, this milestone would matter enough for them to show up, not just physically but emotionally. I wanted their full support, just this once. With Naomi as my maid of honor and Jason's steady support, I kept planning, determined to make our day beautiful no matter what. I focused on the people who showed up for me, not those who might not. "Your wedding will be perfect because it's about you and Jason," Naomi said. "The rest is just details." Her words became my anchor as the day neared, though I never imagined how wrong my family would prove me. 2 weeks before the wedding, I was scrolling Instagram on my lunch break when a photo stopped me cold. Harper, beaming, flashed a big diamond ring. Her caption read, "He asked." I said yes. Hashtag engaged, hashtag future Mrs. Williams. I stared, stunned. Harper was engaged to Patrick Williams, her boyfriend of just 6 months, and no one told me. The comments were full of congratulations, including from my parents. Mom wrote, "So happy for my beautiful baby girl. Can't wait to celebrate this weekend." My hands shook as I called her. She answered cheerfully until she heard my voice. "Olivia, everything okay?" "I'm busy." "Harper's engaged?" I whispered. A pause. "Oh, you saw the post?" "Yes, Patrick proposed last weekend. So romantic, at that vineyard upstate. Why didn't you tell me?" I cut in. "Well, honey, you've been busy with your wedding. We didn't want to bother you." Her tone felt off. I pushed harder. "Celebrating this weekend? My wedding's in 2 weeks." A longer pause. "Harper's having a small engagement party Saturday. Just family and friends." My stomach sank. "Saturday? That's my wedding day." "Is it?" "I thought it was the next weekend," she said, sounding fake. Harper's had this planned for a while. How could she plan it weeks ago if she just got engaged? I asked, shock giving way to logic. They knew it was coming. It just became official, Mom hedged. Then, in a calm tone that stung, "Honey, could you and Jason reschedule? We've put down deposits for Harper's party, and everyone's made plans." I was speechless. Reschedule my wedding, with 60 guests and contracts signed, for her engagement party? "No, Mom, we can't reschedule. We have 60 people coming, everything set." "Well," she sighed, like I was the problem, "we'll figure something out." "But you know how important this is for Harper. She's dreamed of this for months." "I've been planning my wedding for 6 months," I said, voice rising despite myself. "You all RSVP'd. Dad's supposed to walk me down the aisle." "We'll try to make part of your ceremony," she said, like it was a fair compromise. "Maybe split time between both." I hung up, too hurt to keep talking. I called Naomi right away, and she was furious for me. "That's outrageous," she said. "They can't expect you to share your wedding day or reschedule for an engagement party. Not even her actual wedding." "What do I do?" I asked, tears welling at my desk. "Nothing. Have your beautiful wedding as planned. If they pick Harper's party, that's on them. I'll be there with you all day, Olivia. You won't be alone." That night, I told Jason. Anger flashed in his eyes before he softened. "Your family's making a choice," he said gently. "It's a bad one, and it's on them, not you. Our wedding will be amazing because we'll have people who truly love us." "What if none of my family comes?" I asked, voicing my deepest fear. "We'll still get married, celebrate, and start our life together," he said firmly. "My family, our friends, and most importantly, us, will be there, promising to be each other's family forever." Their words helped, but the thought of my family abandoning me on my wedding day crushed me. I cried in Jason's arms that night until no tears remained, grieving not just their absence but the family bond I'd always wanted and never had. The day before the wedding was a whirlwind of last-minute details. The rehearsal was set for 5 p.m., but I hadn't heard from my family in 3 days despite my voicemails begging them to come. The venue was stunning, with sunlight pouring through tall windows, lighting up the wooden floors and our floral arrangements. It should have been a joyful moment. "Your family here yet?" the coordinator asked as 5 o'clock neared. "They might be late," I lied, the words bitter. Jason squeezed my hand as his family arrived, all smiles. His mom hugged me, his dad clapped Jason's shoulder, and his sister snapped photos to capture every moment. By 5:30, with no sign of my family, we started the rehearsal. Our college friend, the officiant, led us with warmth and humor. Jason's 12-year-old cousin played ring bearer with such seriousness, it made us laugh. It was lovely, except for the empty space where my family should have been. As we wrapped up, my phone buzzed. Hoping it was them, I checked. It was Mom, busy with Harper's party prep. Good luck with rehearsal. Love you. I stuffed the phone away, hiding the sting of her casual dismissal. Jason saw through me. They're not coming, are they? He asked softly as we walked to the rehearsal dinner. No, I said, voice steady despite the hurt. They're prepping for Harper's party. His jaw clenched, but he just said, their loss. The rehearsal dinner was at an Italian restaurant nearby. Jason's parents booked a private room with white roses and candles. Place cards marked seats, including for my absent family. I made it through appetizers before slipping to the restroom, leaning on the sink to fight back tears. This was meant to be joyful, and I wouldn't let my family ruin it. When I returned, Linda had removed my family's place cards and rearranged the seats to hide the gaps. Her small smile and wink warmed me. The dinner was filled with toasts, stories, and laughter. If anyone noticed my forced smiles, they didn't say. Naomi sat by me, keeping things light, charming Jason's family when I went quiet. Tomorrow's going to be perfect, she said as we left. I'll be at your hotel at 9 a.m. with coffee and breakfast. We'll get your hair and makeup done and make you Boston's most beautiful bride. I hugged her tight. I don't know what I'd do without you. You'll never find out, she promised. Back at the hotel, Jason kissed me goodnight, heading to his best man's place per tradition. Tomorrow, we're husband and wife, he said. That's all that matters. Alone, I tried one last time to reach my family. I called Dad, heart racing. Hello, he answered, distracted. Dad, it's Olivia. Are you coming tomorrow to walk me down the aisle? A long pause. I'm sorry, Olivia. Your mom needs me for Harper's party. It's a big deal for her. Bigger than my wedding? I asked, voice cracking. That's not fair. We didn't know the dates clashed. There's no clash, Dad. You chose. Bitterness crept in. I'm sorry you feel that way, he said coldly. Have a nice wedding. I hung up, staring at the wall, feeling hollow, like something inside me broke for good. Naomi texted, how you feeling, bride-to-be? I replied, I'm okay. Excited for tomorrow. Her response was quick, so sorry, something urgent came up. Family emergency. I'll be a bit late but there before the ceremony. Don't worry. Her vagueness unsettled me. Naomi was never unclear. Everything okay? Can I help? I texted. All good. Just handling this. Sleep well, big day. Something felt wrong, but I was too drained to dwell on it. Scrolling social media to distract myself, I froze at Harper's new post. A selfie in a party dress, captioned, final fitting for tomorrow's big day. Can't wait to celebrate with everyone who matters. The location tag hit me, Bellamy's boutique, where Naomi said she'd run an errand. Dread growing, I checked the likes. Naomi's name was there, with a comment from 30 minutes ago, you look stunning. Can't wait for tomorrow. The betrayal slammed into me. My best friend, my maid of honor, who swore she'd be there, was choosing Harper's party over my wedding. I called her, it went to voicemail. I texted, saw Harper's post and your comment. You're going to her party instead? No reply for minutes. Then, I'm so sorry, Olivia. Harper said it'd mean so much if I came. I thought I could do both, but the timing's off. I should have told you. I feel awful. The betrayal was complete. I turned off my phone, unable to take more. Curled up on the hotel bed, still dressed, I sobbed until I could barely breathe. Everyone I loved chose Harper, even on my wedding day. I must have cried myself to sleep. My phone woke me, sunlight streaming through the curtains I forgot to close. Groggy, I answered. Olivia, it's Allison. I'm in the lobby with coffee and bagels. Can I come up? Allison Turner, my junior year college roommate, wasn't a close friend, but I'd invited her out of nostalgia. I didn't expect her at my hotel. Sure, I croaked. Room 312. She arrived with coffee and a bakery bag. Hey, bride, she said brightly, then stopped. Whoa, you okay? Allison's simple question shattered my fragile calm. I burst into tears right there in the doorway. She didn't hesitate, setting the coffee and bagels aside to wrap me in a hug. Hey, it's okay. We'll fix this, she said softly. Sobbing, I spilled everything, my family choosing Harper's engagement party, Naomi's betrayal, leaving me without family or a maid of honor on my wedding day. When I finished, Allison met my eyes firmly. Your family and Naomi are acting awful right now, she said. But I'm here, and I'm not leaving. If you'll let me, I'd be honored to be your maid of honor today. You do that? I asked, stunned. Absolutely, she replied. What are friends for? Drink this coffee. I'll confirm hair and makeup for 9 o'clock, and we'll make this the best wedding day ever, no matter who's here. Her loyalty, so unexpected from someone I wasn't even that close to, sparked hope in me. Maybe this day could still be saved. The wedding morning flew by. Hair and makeup arrived on time, working magic on my tear-puffy face. Allison was an incredible stand-in maid of honor, anticipating my needs, cracking me up with old college stories, and keeping my mind off my absent family. When I slipped into my A-line dress with delicate lace, I almost felt like the bride I'd dreamed of being. But the ache crept back, no mom to adjust my veil, no dad to walk me down the aisle. You're stunning, Allison said, helping with final touches. Jason won't know what hit him. I managed a small smile in the mirror. I just wish. I know, she said gently. But today is yours. Focus on Jason and the life you're starting. That's what counts. A knock interrupted us. Allison opened the door to Robert, Jason's dad, in his tux, looking nervous. I hope I'm not overstepping, he said, meeting my eyes. Jason mentioned your dad might not be here. If you'd like, I'd be honored to walk you down the aisle. No pressure. Tears welled up at his kindness. I'd love that, Robert. Thank you. He nodded, emotional. The honor's mine, Olivia. You make our son so happy. You're already family, today just seals it. At the venue, my phone stayed silent. No word from my parents, Harper, or Naomi. I'd expected it, but the absence still hurt. I handed my phone to Allison. Hold this. No distractions during the ceremony. Got it, she said. Ringers off, just in case. The coordinator led us to a small room to wait. Through the window, I saw guests filling seats, my side mostly empty. 5 minutes, the coordinator called. The reality hit hard, I was getting married without my family. Joy and sorrow tangled inside me, dizzying. Ready? Robert asked, offering his arm as the music started. I nodded, throat tight. Walking down the aisle felt surreal. Smiling faces turned to me, their gasps and murmurs faint, until I saw Jason at the altar. His expression, awe, love, certainty, was everything. The empty front row on my side barely registered. When Robert placed my hand in Jason's, the pain faded, replaced by the warmth of his touch and the love in his eyes. "You're incredible," he whispered as we faced the officiant. The ceremony was short but heartfelt. We'd written our own vows, and Jason's made me cry and our guests laugh. "Olivia," he said, "I promise to be your equal, to cheer your wins like they're mine, to stand by you through anything, and to build a home where your worth is never doubted. You're the strongest person I know, and your resilience amazes me. Today, we're not just marrying, we're creating a family where love is unconditional. I love you, all of you, as you are." The reception, in a hall twinkling with lights and lilies, felt full of love despite the absences. Jason's family and our friends filled the room with joy and chatter. If anyone pitted the bride with no family, they didn't show it. Our first dance was to "At Last" by Etta James, swaying softly as guests watched. Then Robert stepped up for the father-daughter dance, bringing tears again. "Thank you," I whispered. "For everything. You're family now," he said simply. "That's what we do." The night rolled on with toasts, dinner, and dancing. I genuinely enjoyed it, despite the ache beneath my smile. Jason stayed close, sensing when my thoughts drifted to those absent. Then came the cake, a three-tier beauty with flowers matching our centerpieces. Jason and I posed, smiling for photos, knife in hand. "Ready?" he asked. I nodded, and we cut the first slice to cheers. At that moment, my phone buzzed in my dress's hidden pocket. I'd grabbed it from Allison earlier, just in case of emergencies. As Jason sliced cake for guests, I checked it discreetly. "Mom's text, we need to talk now." Below, 36 missed calls from her, Dad, and Harper, all in the last hour. My stomach dropped. Why this sudden urgency after they'd abandoned me today? "Everything okay?" Jason asked, noticing my face. I showed him the screen. "I don't know what this is." "It can wait," he said firmly. "This is our day." They made their choice. Part of me agreed, wanting to mute the phone and keep celebrating. But another part, the part still hoping for family, for answers, wavered. "What if it's serious?" I asked. Jason sighed, studying me. "If you need to call, I get it. But you don't owe them today. This is our day." I squeezed his hand. "I'll step out for a minute. If it's not important, I'm back right away." I slipped into a quiet corner of the venue's garden and called Mom. She answered instantly, voice shaky and frantic. "Olivia. Thank God. We've been trying to reach you for hours." "I was getting married, Mom," I said, my tone sharp. "What's so urgent?" Her next words flipped my world upside down, reshaping everything I thought I knew about this day, my family, and my sister, who I'd always thought just outshone me in their eyes. "It's Harper," Mom said, voice breaking. "Patrick ended the engagement mid-party. He couldn't go through with it because Harper told him what she did to you." I sank onto a bench, mind reeling. "What did she do to me?" Mom's breathing hitched with sobs. "Harper lied to us, Olivia. She planned her engagement party on your wedding day on purpose. She said you changed your wedding date and didn't tell us because you didn't want us there." The ground seemed to shift. "What?" "She showed us fake texts from you, saying you wanted nothing to do with us, that you were having a private ceremony with Jason's family, your real family. She said you told us not to come." My hand shook, gripping the phone. "Mom, I never sent those texts. I've been begging you all to come for weeks." "I know now," she said, voice small. "Patrick confronted Harper after she bragged about stealing the spotlight. She broke down, admitted everything, fake texts, deleting your real messages from our phones, even stealing your invitation. I could barely breathe, Harper's betrayal overwhelming me. Why would you believe I'd cut you out of my wedding?" After all my calls and voicemails? Dad's voice cut in on speaker. She had answers for everything. Said you were just pretending, that you told her your true feelings. We should have questioned it, called you directly. But she was so convincing, even crying about how hurt she was. The pieces clicked, but one question lingered. What about Naomi? Why did she pick Harper's party? A heavy pause. Harper told Naomi you'd replaced her as maid of honor, Mom said. Showed her fake texts saying you only asked her out of duty but found someone better. Convinced her the party was better than facing humiliation at your wedding. I closed my eyes, Naomi's vague excuses now clear in a twisted way. Where's Harper now? I asked, voice steady despite the storm inside. She left after Patrick ended it. We don't know where, Mom said, voice cracking. Olivia, we're so sorry. We failed you. We don't expect forgiveness, but you need the truth. I need to process this, I said, mind spinning. I'm at my reception. Of course, Dad said quickly. We just couldn't wait to tell you. Can we see you tonight or tomorrow, whenever you're free? It felt surreal. My childhood dream of a family-filled wedding was nearly over. They'd missed the vows, the dance, moments gone forever. I'll text you our hotel address, I said. Meet us in the lobby at 11. I hung up, frozen, grappling with Harper's cruelty and my parents' gullibility. How could she plan something so vicious? How could they believe her without checking with me? Jason's voice pulled me back. He stood nearby, concern on his face. You've been out here 15 minutes. You okay? I looked at my new husband, grateful for his steady presence. No, I said honestly. But I think I will be. I told him everything, watching his face shift from shock to anger to disbelief. I can't even find words, he said. Harper sabotaged our wedding on purpose. That's not just jealousy, it's cruel. I told them we'll meet after the reception, I said. I need to hear this in person, to understand why they believed I'd exclude them. Jason took my hands. You sure about tonight? We can wait until after the honeymoon. I shook my head. I need closure before we go. I can't carry this for 2 weeks. Then we'll face them together, he said. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. We returned to the reception, guests unaware of our absence amid the dancing and laughter. I went through the motions, smiling, thanking people, dancing with Jason's family, while my mind spun with Harper's betrayal. At 10:45, we left in a shower of rose petals, changed at the hotel, and waited in the lobby. My stomach knotted, thoughts a mess of questions and anger. My parents arrived at 11:15, looking worn and red-eyed. Mom rushed toward me, arms open, but stopped when I stepped back. Let's find somewhere private, Jason said, pointing to a small meeting room off the lobby. Inside, with the door shut, silence hung heavy until Dad spoke. Olivia, we don't expect forgiveness. Believing Harper, missing your wedding, it's unforgivable. But we're deeply sorry. Dad's words hung in the air like a heavy fog. I could see the regret etched into his face, lines deeper than I remembered. His eyes, usually so steady, were rimmed with red from crying. Sorry doesn't fix missing my wedding, I said, my voice tight like a wire about to snap. Or believing I'd cut you out without even calling me. The room felt smaller, the air thicker. I glanced at Jason, who stood beside me, his presence a quiet anchor in this storm. You're right, Mom whispered, tears falling freely down her cheeks. She dabbed at them with a crumpled tissue, her hands trembling. We can't justify it. We failed you as parents, not just today, but for years. Her admission hit me hard. For so long, I'd craved acknowledgement of the pain they'd caused. Now, hearing it, it felt both validating and raw, like peeling off a scab too soon. Why was it so easy to believe I didn't want you there? I asked, the question burning in my chest like fire. It had been festering since Mom's call earlier. What did you think our relationship was? They shared a pained glance, a silent conversation passing between them. Dad cleared his throat, his voice rough. We knew we weren't good parents to you, Olivia. We favored Harper from the start. We skipped your big moments, graduations, awards, always making excuses. We didn't celebrate your wins like we should have. When she said you didn't want us at the wedding, part of us believed it because we felt we deserved that kind of rejection. His words stung, but they also made sense in a twisted way. All those years of feeling invisible, of Harper's light eclipsing mine, it wasn't just my imagination. They knew, and they let it happen. So you just gave up on me, without even trying to fix things? My voice rose slightly, emotion bubbling up. I could feel the years of resentment surfacing, demanding to be heard. We were cowards, Mom admitted, her voice breaking. She looked down at her hands, twisting the tissue into shreds. It was easier to believe Harper's lie than to face the truth of how we'd failed you. And she's our daughter, too, so we never imagined she would lie about something so important, so devastating. I nodded slowly, processing. The logic was flawed, but I could see how guilt had blinded them. Still, it didn't erase the hurt. Where's Harper now? I asked, shifting the focus. Why isn't she here apologizing herself? The absence of my sister in this moment felt like another betrayal. We don't know, Dad said, his shoulders slumping. She left the house right after Patrick confronted her at the party. She's not answering our calls or texts. We're worried sick, but we had to come here first, to tell you the truth. I shook my head, overwhelmed by the chaos. Harper, the golden child, had unraveled everything. I don't get how she could do this. We've had our issues, sibling stuff, sure, but this level of deception, this cruelty, it's beyond anything I imagined. Mom leaned forward slightly, her eyes pleading. I think she's always been jealous of you, she said quietly, as if admitting a long-held secret. Your intelligence, your independence, the way you build genuine relationships without effort. We spoiled her, made her the center of our world, but I think, deep down, she wanted what comes naturally to you, real connections, real accomplishments that aren't just for show. Jealous of me? The idea was almost laughable. All my life, I'd envied her ease, her charm, the way our parents lit up around her. But now, hearing this, it flipped the script. Jason, who had been quiet, finally spoke up. His voice was calm but firm. That might explain her feelings, but it doesn't excuse her actions. What she did was deliberate and destructive. Faking texts, deleting messages, scheduling her party to conflict. It's not just jealousy, it's malicious. You're right, Dad agreed, nodding solemnly. There's no excuse for any of it. And we enabled her behavior for years, always giving in to her demands and tantrums, thinking it was harmless. We see now how wrong that was. I looked at my parents then, really seeing them for the first time as an adult. They seemed smaller, diminished by their guilt and shame. The powerful figures of my childhood were just flawed people, carrying their own regrets. Despite the anger still simmering inside me, a part of me ached for the family we could have been, if only things had been different. I can't forgive you tonight, I said finally, my words measured. I don't know if I can ever fully forgive you for missing my wedding, for all those years of neglect. But I'm willing to try to build something new going forward, if you're truly committed to change. They both nodded eagerly, tears flowing freely now. Mom reached out tentatively, but I didn't move. Not yet. That means acknowledging the patterns that got us here, I continued, my voice gaining strength. It means therapy, both individually and as a family. It means real accountability, not just for today's mess, but for all the years of emotional neglect I endured. Anything, Mom said immediately, her voice fervent. We'll do anything it takes, Olivia. We want to make this right, as much as we can. And Harper needs professional help, too, I added, not letting that slide. What she did goes beyond normal sibling rivalry or jealousy. It's deeply troubled behavior. We know, Dad agreed, his expression grave. When we find her, getting her the help she needs will be our top priority. We won't let this slide, not for her sake, or ours. We sat there for another hour, diving deeper into the conversation. It was painful, raw, like lancing a wound that had festered for decades. We talked about specific memories, the high school graduation they missed for Harper's recital, the college acceptance letters dismissed with a casual, "That's nice," the birthdays where calls went unanswered. Each story brought fresh tears, but also a sense of release. No magical reconciliation happened that night. There was no tearful group hug that erased years of hurt, no sudden wave of forgiveness washing over us. But something shifted subtly. A door that had been firmly closed for so long creaked open, just a crack, allowing the possibility of light to seep in. As Jason and I finally headed up to our hotel room, the weight of the day pressed on me. I was emotionally drained, my mind a whirlwind of revelations and unresolved feelings. Yet, strangely, a sense of peace settled over me, fragile but real. Jason squeezed my hand as we walked, his touch grounding me. "You okay?" he asked softly, his eyes searching mine. I paused, considering the question carefully. It wasn't a simple yes or no. "Not yet," I admitted, "but I think I will be. Eventually." 6 months have passed since that chaotic wedding day. Jason and I have settled into married life in our cozy Boston apartment, learning the everyday rhythms of being true partners. We divide chores, share laughs over takeout dinners, and navigate the small challenges that come with blending two lives into one. It's not always perfect. There are arguments over silly things like whose turn it is to do the laundry, but it's ours, built on love and mutual respect. Our honeymoon in Greece was a beautiful, much-needed escape from the family drama that had overshadowed our wedding. We chose Greece for its history and beauty, a place where ancient ruins whisper stories of resilience and time's healing power. For 2 full weeks, we wandered through the Acropolis in Athens, marveling at the Parthenon standing tall despite centuries of wear. We swam in the crystal-clear waters of Santorini, the sun warming our skin as we floated hand in hand. Evenings were spent sipping wine on cliffside terraces, watching sunsets paint the sky in hues of orange and pink. It was during those quiet moments that we began healing from the emotional whirlwind surrounding our marriage. We talked openly about the hurt, the betrayal, but also about our hopes for the future. Greece became our sanctuary, a place where we could breathe freely and rebuild. Back home, the real work kicked in. True to their word, my parents dove headfirst into therapy. They started individual sessions to unpack their own issues, Dad's tendency to avoid conflict, Mom's overprotectiveness toward Harper. They also began couples therapy to strengthen their marriage, which had strained under years of unspoken resentments. When they suggested family therapy including me, I hesitated at first. The wounds were still fresh, and the idea of sitting in a room dissecting our past felt daunting. But Jason encouraged me, reminding me that healing required effort from all sides. Eventually, I agreed, and we scheduled our first session. Every Thursday evening, we met with Dr. Patterson, a seasoned family therapist specializing in adult family dynamics and estrangement. Her office was a calm space, with soft lighting, comfortable chairs arranged in a circle, and a box of tissues always within reach. Dr. Patterson had a gentle but direct approach, guiding us through conversations without letting us dodge the hard truths. Healing isn't a straight line, she reminded us during one particularly difficult session, where old arguments resurfaced and emotions ran high. You'll have progress one week and setbacks the next. What matters is staying committed to the process, showing up even when it's uncomfortable. 3 days after the wedding, Harper resurfaced. She called my parents from a dingy hotel room on the outskirts of town, her voice small and broken. She'd been hiding there, overwhelmed by shame and fear of facing the consequences of her actions. My parents, despite their own hurt, convinced her to come home. They didn't yell or punish, instead, they immediately arranged for her to see a therapist specializing in behavioral issues. It was a step toward accountability, one I appreciated even from afar. It took me 2 months to agree to meet Harper face to face. Those weeks were filled with my own therapy sessions, where I processed the betrayal and decided if I was ready. When I finally said yes, we chose a neutral location, a quiet cafe halfway between our homes, with outdoor seating under a shaded patio. The air was crisp that day, carrying the scent of fresh coffee and baked goods. Harper arrived early, looking different from the vibrant sister I remembered. She seemed smaller, diminished, without the confidence and charm that had always radiated from her like sunlight. Her hair was pulled back simply, her clothes understated, as if she was trying to fade into the background. We ordered coffees, but neither of us touched them much. "I don't know where to start," she whispered, her voice barely above the hum of the cafe. "Sorry feels too small, too inadequate for what I did to you." I let the silence stretch, then asked the question that had haunted me since that fateful phone call. "Why?" It came out simple, direct. "Why would you go to such lengths to ruin my wedding day? What did I ever do to deserve that?" Harper stared into her untouched coffee for a long moment, gathering her thoughts. When she spoke, her words were measured, as if rehearsed in therapy. "I've been seeing a therapist, and we've been talking a lot about this, about why I did what I did, the roots of it all." She took a deep breath, steadying herself. "The simple answer is jealousy, but it's more complicated than that. Deeper, messier." She explained how she had grown up feeling immense pressure to be perfect, to perform constantly to keep our parents' attention and approval. They praised me publicly, threw parties for my smallest wins, but privately, it was different. "They always compared me to you. Why can't you be more focused like Olivia? Why can't you find a nice, stable career like your sister instead of chasing these auditions?" It felt like I was never enough unless I was shining brighter than you. I listened, surprised by this revelation. All those years, I'd seen only the favoritism, the way they doted on her. I always thought they favored you completely, without question. "They did, in many ways," she admitted, "but their favor came with conditions, invisible strings. I had to be their perfect, charming daughter, the one who made them look good. You, on the other hand, got to be authentic. You pursued your passions in science, built a real life with real friends and accomplishments that weren't for show. I just performed, day in and day out, like a puppet on strings." Her words painted a picture I'd never considered. The golden child's throne wasn't as comfortable as it seemed. "But that still doesn't explain why you'd sabotage my wedding," I pressed, needing to understand the leap from envy to destruction. Tears filled her eyes, spilling over as she blinked. "When you got engaged to Jason, I saw how genuinely happy you were, how complete and grounded your life seemed. Patrick had just proposed to me, but it felt hollow, like another performance to check off a box. I wanted what you had, that real, effortless joy, and when I realized I couldn't have it, something dark twisted inside me. I wanted to destroy it, to make you feel the emptiness I felt. It was petty and cruel and unforgivable. I know that now." "Yes, it was," I agreed, not willing to minimize the harm she had caused. The pain of that day, standing alone without family, was still vivid. But hearing her own it, without excuses, softened something in me just a fraction. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," she said quickly, wiping her tears. "I don't deserve it, not after what I put you through. I just wanted you to know that I understand what I did, the depth of the hurt, and I'm getting help to make sure I never do anything like that again. Therapy is helping me unpack it all, to become better. That first conversation was awkward and painful, full of long pauses and raw emotions. But it was a beginning, a tentative step toward understanding, if not full reconciliation. In the months that followed, Harper continued her therapy diligently. She made changes, big ones. Eventually, she moved out of our parents' house, renting a small apartment in the city to stand on her own. She started a job as an administrative assistant at a local firm, her first real employment that wasn't tied to entertainment or performance. It was steady, unglamorous work, but it gave her structure and independence. She told me later that it felt liberating, like shedding a skin that never fit. My relationship with my parents slowly evolved during this time. They made genuine efforts to know me as I am now, not as the overlooked child of the past, but as the adult woman I'd become. Mom called regularly, not to gossip about Harper or share family news, but to ask about my work in biomedical engineering, my latest projects, my interests outside of it, and my life with Jason. Our conversations grew longer, more meaningful, touching on books we'd read or articles that sparked thought. Dad, too, stepped up. He sent me articles related to my field, breakthroughs in biotech or engineering innovations, and followed up with thoughtful questions, showing he'd actually read them. For the first time in my life, I felt seen by my family. Not completely, not perfectly, there were still awkward moments, slips into old habits, but genuinely. The wall of resentment I'd built over decades began to develop small cracks, letting in slivers of possibility, like sunlight through a boarded window. Reconciling with Naomi was a much more difficult path. When she discovered the full truth about Harper's manipulation, the fake texts, the lies that tricked her into abandoning me, she was devastated. She bombarded me with apologies, flowers delivered to our apartment, handwritten cards expressing regret, emails detailing her side and begging for a chance to explain. I ignored them all for weeks, the betrayal still too fresh and painful, a wound that throbbed with every reminder. Eventually, after discussing it in therapy, I agreed to a phone call. It was tense at first, my guard up high. I should have called you directly, she said, her voice thick with regret and unshed tears. I should have known you would never just replace me as maid of honor without talking to me first. We've been friends for too long for that kind of deceit. Yes, you should have, I agreed, my tone firm. That's what hurts the most, Naomi. You believed the worst about me without even asking me if it was true. After all we've been through, that cut deep. I have no excuse, she admitted, her honesty disarming. I let my insecurities get the better of me, and Harper's lies played right into them. I can only say that I'm truly sorry, and I'll spend as long as it takes trying to rebuild your trust if you'll let me. I miss you, Olivia. Rebuilding trust is harder than building it the first time. It's like reconstructing a bridge after a storm, checking every beam for weakness. With Naomi, the process was slow and sometimes painful. We started with occasional texts, short check-ins, neutral topics like work or weather. Then, we progressed to coffee once a month, meeting in public places where conversations could stay light. Gradually, we worked our way back to something resembling friendship, sharing laughs and deeper talks. Though the easy closeness we once shared remained elusive, like a faded photograph, it was progress. Allison, surprisingly, filled a new role in my life after her 11th hour rescue on my wedding day. What started as gratitude blossomed into a genuine friendship. We met regularly for lunch at our favorite cafe, swapping stories about work and life. She became part of our extended social circle, often joining Jason and me for casual dinners or movie nights at home. Her straightforward humor and unwavering support were a breath of fresh air, reminding me that chosen family can appear when least expected. On our first anniversary, Jason and I decided to mark the occasion with a small dinner party at our apartment. Nothing elaborate, just a simple gathering with good food, wine, and a few close friends and family. We decorated the table with candles and fresh flowers, reminiscent of our wedding but without the drama. My parents came, bearing a thoughtful gift, a handmade photo album they had created, filled with pictures from my childhood and accomplishments they had previously overlooked or downplayed. Flipping through it, seeing images of my science fair wins and college graduation, moments they'd missed, brought a mix of emotions, but mostly healing. Harper came too, her presence quiet and unassuming. She brought a thoughtful gift, a custom journal with encouraging quotes about new beginnings, and carried herself with a humility that showed her ongoing work in therapy. She was still finding her authentic self, stepping away from the performative life she'd known. During dinner, as laughter filled the room and plates were passed, Jason clinked his glass to make an announcement. He looked at me, his eyes twinkling with excitement and love, and I nodded, giving him the go-ahead to share our secret. We wanted to wait until today, our anniversary, to tell everyone, he said, reaching for my hand under the table. Olivia and I are expecting. The baby's due in June. The table erupted in genuine joy and congratulations. Mom cried happy tears, dabbing her eyes with a napkin as she beamed at us. Dad glowed with pride, raising his glass in a toast. And Harper hugged me gently, whispering in my ear, "You're going to be an amazing mother, Olivia. I'm so happy for you." Later that night, after everyone had left and Jason and I were cleaning up the remnants of the evening, stacking plates, wiping counters, he turned to me with a soft smile. "Are you happy with how things are now with your family?" he asked, his voice gentle. I considered the question carefully, letting it settle. "I'm at peace with it," I answered honestly. "It's not perfect, and there are still moments when the old hurt resurfaces, like echoes from the past. But we're building something new, something healthier. That's enough for now." I placed a hand on my still flat stomach, feeling the flutter of possibility. And with the baby coming, I want our child to know their grandparents and aunt, but with healthy boundaries in place. I want to break the cycle of favoritism and emotional neglect completely. Our child will never have to wonder if they're loved or if they're enough. They'll know it, every day. This journey from that tumultuous wedding day to now has been challenging, a path filled with difficult conversations, painful realizations, and moments of doubt. But it has also been illuminating, revealing truths about myself and my family that I might never have uncovered otherwise. I learned that families aren't static entities, frozen in their dysfunction. They are dynamic relationships that can evolve and heal with genuine effort, accountability, and time. I learned that sometimes the greatest gift we can give ourselves is setting clear boundaries, lines that say, "This is what I deserve, and I won't accept less." It means demanding the respect we've always been worthy of and being willing to walk away from relationships that consistently diminish us, even when those relationships are with family. It's a hard lesson, but one that empowers. Most importantly, I learned that forgiveness is not a single act, a flip of a switch, but a process, one that unfolds in its own time and cannot be forced or rushed. True forgiveness comes not from forgetting the hurt, burying it deep, but from understanding it fully, processing the pain, and choosing to move forward with new awareness and stronger boundaries. It's about reclaiming your power, not erasing the past. As I look toward the future, now preparing to create a family of my own with Jason, I carry these lessons with me like treasured tools. I am no longer the daughter desperately seeking approval and acknowledgement from parents who couldn't provide it, chasing shadows of affection. I am a woman who knows her worth intrinsically, who has built a life filled with genuine love and respect, and who chooses each day to nurture relationships that nurture me in return, ones that build me up, not tear me down. Sometimes, the heart must break completely, shattered into pieces, before it can heal into something stronger, more resilient. My heart broke that day when I stood alone at my wedding, surrounded by love but missing the family I'd longed for. But from that breaking came a strength and clarity I might never have found otherwise, a deeper appreciation for the chosen family around me. For that, despite everything, the pain, the betrayal, the long road to healing, I am grateful. Have you ever had to rebuild trust with someone who deeply hurt you? How did you find the balance between forgiveness and protecting yourself from being hurt again? Share your experiences in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more real-life experiences. Thank you for listening to my journey. And remember, healing is not about erasing the scars but about wearing them with the knowledge that you survived something difficult and emerged stronger.